Greetings. I'm Scott Trumbull, and I'm with Covestic. I'm our technologies, workflows practice director. Some people might know it as ITX or ITOM, but all the things that fall under there. And we've been working with ITOM, and we've decided to put together a set of video blog series to answer some customer questions. In a recent survey we got from the Everest Group, when we talked to them, a recent survey, they brought up that 49% of enterprise level ServiceNow customers are having a hard time with continued adoption. And the biggest barrier to that has been their CMDB. The CMDB has been a blocker to taking on additional features like ITAM, HAMPRO, SAMPRO, rolling into SecOps, vulnerability response, moving from basic ITOM, in leveraging ITOM health and governance. And our team's been working with folks over the last few years that are struggling with these items, and we've learned a lot of things, and we want to share a lot of that. And in the past few years, ServiceNow has put a ton of effort and resources into improving the platform capabilities for measuring that and for seeing that ITOM health. And so if you've ever worked with me in the past or seen any of my webinars, you know that I'm a firm believer in the concept that our CMDB health is measurable and quantifiable. So right now, the start of this series, this is the first one we're going to kick off. The team's been putting together features that have come into the platform in the last few years that they're excited about, that help meet these challenges. So on today's call, we have myself. I'm our practice director, Marcus Ang, one of our senior solution architects, Justin Michaels, one of our senior technical consultants. Ken Doddle's going to come in, Larry Dial, one of our business process consultants, and other team members you'll see coming in and out as the weeks go by. Right now here on this call, we have at least 30 plus years of ServiceNow experience. So we want to talk to you, give you a little bit of some of the features that ServiceNow has added to help us maintain that CMDB health. And first up today, we have Marcus. And I know you're really excited, Marcus, about talking about the multi-source CMDB and that feature and what it allows us to do. So I will stop and hand the ball over to you, Marcus.
Hey, thanks, Scott. So let's start off with the multi-source CMDB. The multi-source CMDB is used to track the attribute updates of CI from different discovery sources. So it can also recompute the attribute values of the CI using the data from the multi-source CMDB. So this is really useful as more CMDB discovery sources become available, right, and are used. So it becomes difficult to identify the source of each CI attribute. Or in a scenario where different discovery source becomes a better source for a CI attribute, you want to be able to recompute the CI attributes from that discovery source. So recently I had a client who integrated their CMDB with various vulnerability scanning tools and turned on the multi-source CMDB. And we found that the multi-source CMDB showed the different values for each source and was updating the CMDB and provided tremendous insights into the data. Okay, so let me share a simple example. So what I'm showing here is a Windows server. So at the bottom of the view, what we have here is the multi-source data preview. So as we bring that up, we can see here the values currently on the CI, right? So the serial number, the operating system, OS version, and name. And here on the right, we can see the different discovery sources that are available in the multi-source CMDB, right? So we can see these values are coming from the Tenable discovery source, right? So now in this scenario, a new discovery source, Dynatrace, was added. And so pretty much the data is about the same, but here we can see the OS version is a little more specific, right? So I added a name here just for demo purposes. Okay, so now what we have here is the multi-source CMDB data. So what I'm going to show next is how we can recompute for the new discovery source to be the values to be on the CI. So here we will go to the CI class manager, right? In the Windows Server CI, under the reconciliation rules, here we can see the existing reconciliation rule. So now I'm going to update this to have Dynatrace as the discovery source. So now I'm going to save. Okay, so now the reconciliation rule has been updated. So now what we want to do is recompute.
So in this case, you're saying that now you want Dynatrace to be the priority source for the data on that CI or for the data on those fields. Is that correct?
Yes, yes. So yes, that's correct. That's absolutely correct. So we want the new discovery source to show up on the CI. So now here, recompute. So here it will show you the number of CIs that will be recomputed. Okay, I'm gonna hit recompute. So you take, depending on the number of records, it may take some time. So let me refresh.
Oh, and I think it's incredibly cool about that is your ability to not have to wait for those discovery sources to load again, right? And you're able to redo it and figure out the priority data and update those CIs. That's amazing.
Yep. So now we can see here the OS version and the discovery source and the name and the discovery source were all updated, right? So now we can see how the multi-source CMDB data was used to recompute the CI.
All right, fantastic. I think that's really cool, Mark. Is like you said, the ability now to be able to recalculate those things without having to maybe wait through a week or a month's worth of different sources coming in when you're federating all your data into ServiceNow is amazing. And I really love how that ties in. That's kind of one of the next things I'm really excited about. And we could talk just a little bit about the features added to the CMDB 360 features added to the CMDB workspace, right? So if you're seeing my screen right now, you see the CMDB dashboard, which is a cool feature. If you're using this, you're probably already ahead of the game. If your executive teams are looking for here to see your CMDB health, and from there, ServiceNow has moved into the CMDB workspace. And if you're not using this, there's so many great features on the CMDB workspace that we'll be talking about over the next couple of weeks. So we could see all those things rolling up, but specifically the tab that's been added in the latest version, about the 2.8 version or more on the CMDB workspace to the CMDB 360, which rolls up so we can see at an aggregate level, so we could see at a management executive level some of those things that Marcus was just showing. So now we could see how we have a lot of different sources, and our organizations it's very common for organizations to have a lot of sources all federating into ServiceNow to give you that single pane of glass. But the more complicated that is, the harder our health is. So now we can see all of that in one space on the CMDB 360 dashboard added to the workspace. Those different sources coming in, where Marcus, you just mentioned, we'll take a look at one of those. I think we could probably find one of those ones that Dynatrace is one of the sources coming into it. If you really care from here, you can drill into those things also. Get to that CMDB 360 view, very similar to how you got to that, how you showed looking in the back end at the specific CI level, but most importantly, all this roll-up information. So if you're not using this is something that's included with the tool to give that high level view of things. It's something we really want to get to. Thanks everybody for joining here today. It was exciting to have you here. It's exciting to hear from the team. We got to talk about that initial feature and how we can leverage multi-source CMDB for our data federation and seeing it in the database CMDB 360. Coming back next week and the weeks after, we're going to have discussions about, Larry's going to be talking about some of the considerations with data certification. We're going to be talking about using the data manager. That's a fantastic new feature and how we can leverage that. And we'll have Scott Robinson coming in to talk about what he feels is one of the most underutilized tools available out of the box with ServiceNow, and that's the certificate management and how to avoid all those service interruptions when your certificate goes out of date. So we're excited to have you back. We got a lot to talk about over the next coming weeks. So we'll see you next time on the same ITOM channel.